Hello, my name is Brenda Giordano, and I'm a songwriter. I especially love writing music and lyrics for musicals, and today we're going to talk about composing for characters in musicals. This will also be an experiential session, so in the second part, we're going to listen to some music. These thoughts are my own, and so the errors are also my own, and I am always learning, so you're certainly free to disagree with me, and you might be right. The music you hear, except for one example, is my own music and lyrics, but a great deal of the credit goes to my arranger, Jerry Piger. I also want to thank Theater Resources Unlimited in New York for the 2 visits from Seattle that I made with Kathy Linden, who wrote the book for our musical, A Time to Live. The feedback we received from the Broadway luminaries was exceptional. There are also 2 books I'd like to credit, the out-of-print Dramatic Construction and the very much in-print Defying Gravity, which is the biography of Stephen Schwartz and also a terrific guide for writers of musical theater. I want to use an acrostic story to explain what I think are some of the most important concepts when composing music for a character. The story comes first, and the songs are in service to the story. This concept is the most important one that I've learned. The song should also be natural, as if you are still telling the story, but it is sung. So tell it and sing it naturally. This is something that I strive for, but I still have to work on it with each song. The order of the songs in a musical is also important, but the songs being in service to the story is a more important concept. Sometimes the order might not be ideal, and you do have to have, for example, 2 back-to-back ballads. But if that is the natural storyline, then you might have to go with it. Generally, you should mix it up. I have learned to be bold about rejecting songs when needed. More on that later. Lastly, perhaps the second most important concept is that you need to be really pleased with your songs. If you are lucky to have a huge success, you're going to have to live with these songs for the rest of your life. Now, here are some types of musical theater songs. It's not an exhaustive list, but many musicals are very successful with a combination of just a few types of songs, like an upbeat production number with ballads. But I think a musical will have more interest if you can have a variety of types of songs. But again, the storyline will dictate this. I personally can't imagine Phantom of the Opera without all those big ballads. Whether you compose the music and work with a lyricist or write both the music and the lyrics, you need to know your character and the script really well. But going a little bit deeper, what is the heart of your character? Are they good-hearted, kind, and loving? Then the music will be lovely and melodic. Are they questioning and troubled about something? There will be maybe more dissonance and accidentals and some augmented chords. Are they a disturbed soul? Then maybe the music reflects that by being dark, minor, and pulsing. If the character is just a grumpy nag, then the music might be repetitive to the point of annoyance. And if they're happy-go-lucky, then it might sound like a baseball park organ. When characters are in love, the music might be soaring with those nice, long, sustained notes that harmonize together because, well, they're in love and in harmony with each other. I think you get the idea. So understanding their heart, their motivation, their mood at the moment is all important. You also need to keep an eye on the audience experience. There is a reason for the 11 o'clock number. It's to wake up the slumbering. And lastly, the era of the music can have a big bearing, especially if the musical is about music. Our story is set in 3000 BCE in the Middle East, and I listened to some Bedouin music to try to approximate the era of the music, but it was not tuneful to my ear. So I could not go in that direction to be personally satisfied, but you will hear what we did do with the opening number to try to evoke the era. A favorite example for composing for characters is from the musical The Music Man with the song Pick a Little, Talk a Little, and we're going to listen to that just a little bit.
Pick a little, talk a little, pick a little, talk a little, shake, 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 take a lot, take a little more.
Miss Peru, you must join our dance sorry committee.
We're so dear dancing the Chaboopy with Professor Hill. You dance like a fairy princess with a movement for your floor. You're the golden shimmer in your hair and silver shoes for all to see.
So I think it's clear from that song that the singers really did sound a little bit like a brood of hens picking and pecking. And so that's just to me a classic example of composing for characters. The other aspect that I do is stew or stewing. I often need to stew on a song before I start writing. That can happen even after I think it's done and changes are needed. And I try to be easy on myself and not force it. And then the song seems to flow better after I've kind of stewed on it. For the R, as far as the rejecting stories in the story acrostic, this is a hard one, but I think it's really important. This happens especially if the storyline changes. But there is a glimmer of hope because I always carefully put my songs in my trunk. These songs have been known to have a second chance and with new lyrics. I have a song in the works right now for a children's musical that was rejected from an earlier version of another musical. You can also hum these tunes to yourself later for your own private amusement. I had to say something about accidentals. I really love them. And I rarely have songs without at least one accidental showing up. You can see my reasons, but again, I may be wrong about this, so take it or leave it. Now on to listening to some music. We're going to look at a couple of examples of songs and some songs that are kind of combination songs. A comedy song that turns into a production number and a ballad that is also a turnaround song. We've talked a good deal about the fit between the character and the composition, but I do have a confession to make. Until I was asked to present, I frankly had not really thought about how I did what I did to write music that fits the character. I'm a right-brained songwriter, and the most important thing I do is just listen really carefully to what that character is singing to me. Now, I don't hear voices, but when I start to kind of hear that music in my mind, I start to write. I just, do not worry, it's just, like I said, it's not an audible voice that I hear, but it typically is like a musical phrase or even as part of a lyric, and then I can go from there. Sometimes I have I just have to sort of pound it out, but typically those are not my best songs. But I think there is more going on at the subconscious level than I've given myself credit for. So putting this presentation together has been quite insightful for me on how this process pulls together. So for example, I have a song in the works right now that best fits the sung through or the recitative category. In this song, we are taking a chunk of dialogue and making it into a song. It's a male duet where they are vocally dueling over a woman, one for love and one for what he can get out of her. If I had to make up a new category, it would be a fighting song. Well, if you think of boxers in a ring facing off and hitting each other, what would that sound like musically? Punch, 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 punch. So as I started to write, I realized it was in a rapid 5/4. And this is how it looks like. I'm not going to do the lyrics, but it's the melody, or the melody line kind of goes like this. There's a big pause at the end. Next, I'm going to play some songs from the 2017 production of A Time to Live. This was inspired by the Book of Ruth, and I will pass the narration on to the text on the screen that you will see, so you can just listen. There will be a snippet of about a minute each of several songs to give you the feel for the song. For the first song, I've included the lyrics as it might be a little hard to understand from the video. On the last song, I received input from True, and so if you read the text, you're going to see where the song changed as I worked on it over time. Enjoy and happy composing for characters.
We are an ancient people, we suffered many things. We worship God Almighty, the only King of Kings. We live in desert places where enemies surround. We try to make a living from this old sacred ground.
God's blessings coming our way again.
God's blessings do not come out of Moab.
They already have. Wrap up the candles, take down the light. We're going to pack for Moab tonight. Wash up your sandals, wash up your face. We're going to move to a whole new place. So, put on a smile and take off that frown. Pack up your bags, let's get out of town. Moab has got the chickens and pigs. We'll just ignore the idols and pigs.
They have crickets in Moab.
Yes! So, put on a smile and take off that frown. Pack up your bags, let's get out of town. Moab has got the chickens and pigs. We'll just ignore the idols and pigs.
Something is wrong, that's all he said. No other words, then he fell dead. Now I'm alone, all my men gone. Still I survive, still comes the dawn. Oh, why have you withheld your loving kindness from your servant, Lord? I weep from my grief, my close company. Oh, I cry to you, looking for hope. Why do you hide your face from me? Darkness is my close company.
Once I settled to the slaver, no one else around could save her. With that treasured soil in my hand, I'm the biggest owner in the land. I'm sure to be head elder then. Wealthiest man, first citizen. Wealthiest man, first citizen.
Coming here to Bethlehem was harder than I thought. We didn't carry much with us. We'd eaten all we'd brought. I happened to start gleaning in a field of yours by chance. But now I am believing God had caused the circumstance. This may be our only night, and I want to behold you. Let's not let the morning light start shining till we say, may this not be the only night, may this not be the only day, may this not be the only place. I will touch your face, your face, your face.
Return to that? No! You and Malin have been the only security I've felt in my life. Don't tell me to leave.
Wherever you go,
can see the questions forming on your brow. I don't know the answers, I don't know the hows. But if God is faithful and his word is true, then I will go with you. Wherever you go, wherever I go, I will go with you. Wherever you stay, I